Hey guys, Horrorman again, back for another review. So today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Morgan from The Walking Dead Series 8, and this is actually based off the TV show. Has the actor's likeness, Lennie James, and this is brand new. I actually just picked this up over the weekend, and part of Series 8 should be hitting specialty stores and comic shops. I actually picked this one up at Toys R Us. Now, besides Morgan, I'll also be doing another review of the Rick figure, and just to get a little bit closer look at these guys, look really good. With each series they really do seem to get much better, so look for my review on Rick coming very soon. Look at the packaging on Morgan. You can just see where it says The Walking Dead AMC, Series 8, McFarlane Toys, with that classic Spawn symbol, and then you see where it says Morgan on the bottom, and again you can see where it just says based on the hit AMC TV series, and then 12 plus down here, and then you can also see the other figures that are coming out in the same wave. Now some of them, like the Carol figure and the Tyrese figure, they're both exclusive, so they're a little bit harder to find. Now, my experience, I have only seen Dale, Rick, and Morgan. I have yet to see Bob, Eugene, or any of the other ones. So they should be in stores really soon, so just be on the lookout for those. And then you can also see just the little credits right here under McFarlane.com, just to show you who took the photos and so forth. So, cool looking figure. One of the things I really like about this Morgan figure is you're going to get not only the really good likeness of Lennie James from the show, but you're also going to get this really cool alternate masked head. If you guys remember, I think it was the end of the season, or at least partly through the end of the season last season, you kind of saw a character walking around, and he had this mask, and then it was revealed to be Morgan. So really cool that they actually added that. So let's go ahead and take a look at him out of the package. And one more thing worth noting is that this particular package that I got, the backpack is kind of fallen. It's not supposed to look like that when you get it from the store. So this was a bit of a packaging error, so really good one to open. Okay, so here's Morgan out of the packaging with all of his accessories. Before we get into the accessories, I just want to say that these are actually getting better and better. The figures are really looking better, and they actually are really getting better articulation on them. So beginning to be more and more impressed with this series. Just taking a closer look at him, you can see he's got really no blood splatter on him. It's pretty much just based off of the, I guess the third time seeing Morgan actually in the series, and it's just based on that gear that he's wearing from last season. Which is nice because Rick is actually based off of last season also, so it's nice that they're actually keeping kind of more up to date with the series. I know some of the series was kind of like really behind, like some of the actual figure series were really behind the TV show, so it's nice that they're kind of catching up. One of the things that you don't really know right off the bat is that this hood is actually meant to be removable, so you could just take that off. And it's got a little like peg type thing right here, and it just simply connects right into the hole in the back. So that's really nice for not only just removing the head, but you can actually get like articulation on them. And you can see that head sculpt just a little bit better. The facial expression is a little bit more angrier than I would have picked it for Morgan, but you could definitely see the likeness in there. And it's really not that bad at all. The hair is pretty well done, and the clothes are pretty good too. They're kind of like more of a harder feel. The jacket really doesn't have much of like a soft, texture to it. So it doesn't have a lot of I don't know, you really can't get a lot of articulation out of this area here. It's really just like a solid piece. At least it feels that way. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right into the articulation. Alright, so getting right into the articulation, the head isn't quite as articulated as far as like the down movement because of this kind of scarf here, but you could still get some good left to right movement, and he can look up just a little bit, not much. The arms are pretty much what you would expect, just a, our shoulder articulation, elbow, and then you get that wrist articulation. And then, like I said, really there's nothing in the torso area. There's no twist. There's no really ab crunch or anything like that. Now the legs actually are pretty articulate. He can only go this far forward because of the solid kind of jacket he has on. But as far as back, he can go pretty far back. And then there is good knee articulation, even though you do have like the shin pad, knee pad that kind of sticks out a little bit. And there really isn't anything in the feet. So that is about it for the articulation. So yeah, it's a little bit hindered just due to the outfit that he's wearing. Alright, now as far as the accessories are concerned, you're just going to basically get this backpack, which is pretty well detailed. You can see there's like the drawstring kind of on here, and you can see like this little bit of like wrinkles in the bag and how it's stuffed and everything. So it's pretty decent quality, sculpting for something this small. Also, I know at least one of the sides can come out, so it can go on him easier. Should just be able to slip that on one of his arms, and then bring the other piece around, and then it'll basically connect into that piece. So yeah, it just kind of connects right here. It's definitely a little tight, and it's mostly because of the flimsy material that the actual strap is made of, in reference to the harder plastic backpack. So it's a little bit tough to get in there at first, but you can definitely get it. And then, of course, the next accessory, which isn't quite an accessory but an extra piece, is the interchangeable head. And it's really cool. It's got this just mask with like goggles and just holes in the mouthpiece so he could breathe. And then the next accessory is one that we're familiar with, and it's basically like an assault rifle. And funny, I don't really remember Morgan using many guns in this lately, but yeah, here's the assault rifle. And then finally is his most trusty weapon, and that's his bow staff, which is basically like Donatello from Ninja Turtles. So it's really cool. Just simple sculpt, really, and it's just got some like lines just to show that it's made out of wood. So decent accessories for him, and I guess you can consider the hood an accessory since it comes off. So the head should just kind of pop off like all the other ones have. You just need just a teeny bit of muscle to it, and you can pop this new interchangeable head on here, and a little bit of muscle, like I said, and pops right on there. And here's what he looks like with the hood popped on. And you're not going to get a lot of articulation, but it really does look cool. You really can't tell who this character is. So holding the staff, you can get him in like a couple two-handed poses, but not too much. This is one of the poses I was able to get him in. And here's another two-handed pose if you want. Now keep in mind, the more you pose him with this staff, the hands, like the fingers, tend to stretch out a little bit, so he may not grasp the weapon quite as good as he did when you first got it. So the hands come in, when you get him, it's really tight, but like I said, as you kind of finagle with the staff a little bit, the hands will start to stretch. So it's kind of a good thing and a bad thing. It doesn't seem like he's going to drop this staff very easily, but at least you can get a couple two-handed poses, and you can probably do more than this. But yeah, he seems to hold it pretty well. And then you can also get a couple decent two-handed poses with the assault rifle also, or if you want, you could just kind of have him with the one-handed pose, but he seems to hold this pretty well also. So, very cool, fully loaded version of Morgan. So for the first comparison, here is Morgan standing next to his buddy Rick Grimes. Now, the height, I guess, is about accurate. Rick's just a little bit taller, but they look great next to each other. Rick's got a much bloodier look to him, so hopefully maybe we'll get a much bloodier version of Morgan down the road. But yeah, these guys look great next to each other. And here's Morgan next to one of the SWAT team zombies. And he is actually pretty decently size smaller than the SWAT team zombie, but since it is, the evil enemy, I guess it's just makes sense that it's significantly taller. So I'm not sure what the scale would be, but it doesn't really matter. You could just assume this is one of the taller officers, but they definitely looked awesome together. Now, just so you guys know, the Walking Dead series is really in like a 5-inch scale. So here he is next to a fellow zombie slayer, Ash from Evil Dead. And you can see this is the NECA version, and he is significantly taller. So if you do get the Walking Dead figures, don't expect them to be in scale with any of the NECA stuff. But yeah, you can see a tremendous size difference here. And for the last comparison, here he is next to the Big Red Predator. And he is in the 7-inch scale, but since he's the Predator, he's actually a little over 8 inches. So again, just to give you an idea of size next to the NECA figures. So it's significantly bigger. Alright, so that's my review. Overall, I'm really happy with the Morgan figure. I'm actually very happy with the direction this character's gone. I don't want to spoil too much for those of you who haven't watched The Walking Dead, but Morgan actually appeared in the very first episode, and since then I've actually really liked the character. He did appear in another episode after a couple seasons, but he wasn't quite the same Morgan that we got attached to. But recently he's actually resurfaced again, and he's finally found the people he wants to be with, and he's much cooler. He was just like the Morgan from the season 1, so I'm really happy that he's back in the show. I was happy that they actually made this figure. Ever since I've seen him wearing this mask and it was kind of revealed who he was, I just thought it was so cool. It was a great story arc, and it just makes for a very good figure. The accessories are great, and I don't know, no matter what version they put out, I think this is going to be my favorite version of him. The detail and the weapons is pretty much what you'd expect from all the Walking Dead figures. And the face sculpt I'm pretty happy with. I wish the expression was just a little bit better, but you could definitely still tell it's him. But like I said, I really like the mask. I like that the hood is removable. And yeah, I mean, the only downside I think about this figure is just that backpack. It's really hard to get on him, and it's just that common, the thin, soft plastic. When you have to get it to the harder plastic, it's very hard to match up. So that will take a little bit of practice to get it on there just right. But overall, I'd say this is a very good figure. Of course, the articulation is hindered because of the outfit, but the outfit is really what makes the figure. So it's kind of like, you just got to deal with it. They are making another version of this soon with a like a trap that you can kind of display with your zombie figures. It's basically from one of the episodes. He makes like a booby trap type of system. But anyway, you can look for that. That should be coming out soon. But anyway, thanks for watching my review. I'll probably be reviewing the new Rick Grimes figures soon, so take a look out for that. And until next time, guys, leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, and catch you later. See ya. Ha ha ha.